There's something kind of interesting about walking on old railroad tracks. You're looking at the wooden ties and just imagining what the hustle and bustle must have been like around here. The Rarick Company starts on this site probably by about the late 1860s, and they're making the gun carriages for heavy weapons that are going to be used in the Spanish-American War.
And a gentleman named Ralston came down here from Toronto and bought the Rarick Engineering Company and started the Ralston Steel Car Company and erected this building behind us 1910, 1915.
They invented the coal hopper.
A hopper car is a car built in two V's, and they opened the bottom up and the coal fell into the coal truck.
They also built gondolas and boxcars. The factory run from Cassidy Avenue east all the way to James Road.
You think of the Levesque Tower as being a little over 555 feet, and this is 1,900 feet, perhaps a little more. This is like almost four Levesque Towers side to side.
The railroad industry was jumping and jiving. They just couldn't build enough cars for Pennsylvania, New York Central, B&O, C&O. They were all giving them orders.
They started the steel on this end and about 500 feet in, and there were large bridge cranes inside that would take them down until they could get them on tracks. There were 3 tracks in each gable, pretty much made by hand, and they were doing like 19 a day.
Ralston made as many as 10,000 cars in a relatively short period of time.
I'm sure they did.
What's interesting is the Ralston is kind of starting up about just after the turn of the century, but before World War I.
Right.
And so Columbus at that point is actually getting immigrants in. There's the long-standing German and Irish community, but they're getting in immigrants from Eastern Europe, from Central Europe. So there's Hungarians and Poles and Czechs and Slavs and Slovenians and Slovakians.
That's right.
And at the same time, it's the Great Migration from the South, so African Americans, and they're
correct.
all looking for work.
This was quite a bustling industrial community, company houses, company infirmary, their own power plant.
A company town is really where the predominance of one, usually manufacturing institution, controls everything. A lot of houses on 4th Avenue were owned by Ralston.
From early photographs, we know that Ralston built a variety of different kinds of houses. Some were small and cottages, some were 2-story. Generally, they were always frame, and most of them actually were defined by the street by little picket fences.
We lived in a company house. Everybody had an outhouse. We didn't have any electric, we had gas lights, and that's the way we lived, in a company house.
When my father was laid off from the railroad, he was off work for about 3 years. He bought the house from Ralston for $1,500, and they deducted the monthly payment from his pay. When he was laid off, they never evicted anybody. And then when they got rehired at Ralston, they went ahead and let them pick up their payments right where they left off. They didn't have them pay all the back dues. Nobody was evicted. Try that today.
As immigrant families settle into their new East Columbus life, many people move away from the factory work and create small businesses, such as the Tartle family, who had immigrated from Czechoslovakia, and the Liska family, who came from Poland.
Sometime in 1937, Dad opened a grocery store. It was called the East Columbus Market, and it was in a storefront on half of the building. They opened a bar on one side of the building, kept the grocery on the other. And after a couple weeks, the bar made more money than the grocery store. That was the end of the grocery.
It opened, I'm assuming, around 1935. It first shows up in the city directory in 1936. And it was called North Bexley View Inn. My dad purchased it from my mother and my aunt and renamed it in 1950 to the Liska Bar and Grill. And as a kid, you know, we always came here and worked on Sundays cleaning up, you know. Then to get out of that job, I had to go to University of Detroit, so I didn't have to work here. But, I graduated there in 1970, and then I started full-time here, and that's when my education started. When you work behind a bar, you really get the education.
When Eisenhower became president, all the emphasis was put on the interstate highways. And what happened? The trucking industry hollered hurrah, but the railroad industry went downhill and Ralston Steel Car Company closed up. The last order Ralston Steel Car Company got was an order for funeral cars to bring back bodies from World War II from Europe. And my father was one of the last 4 people to leave that factory.
So when I think of this as a place where people were working, we are talking thousands and thousands of people that are employed here. Do you have a sense as to when Ralston finally will close, and some of the people will find other manufacturing jobs, but what are some of the first things you see about this happening in the neighborhood?
Because the manufacturing part of it was gone, you still had a tenant just down the tracks here, the Kroger company, which was growing quite a bit. We had buildings, so they warehoused some items here. And I don't know when my employer got the idea to do third-party warehousing. That's what he started building, was warehouses. And it was just in that period, in the late 50s, early 60s, distribution was becoming a large business here in Columbus, and we are known as a distribution town, more than a manufacturing town.
People started to move to Gahanna. They moved out in the outskirts. That's when we all got married and everybody left.
It was time for us to move on.
I believe it is in the situation it is today, possibly because of 670 kind of divided the community, and then renters. I don't think many of the people that live around here own their own house, so they don't take care of it. Sometimes they have to be told to cut the grass.
It's a lot of unemployment now, and welfare is a big part of it. I mean, a lot of people out here are on government assistance. Drugs are a big part. I mean, when you leave here, you'll meet somebody on the corner begging for money. They come in and want something to drink or eat. As far as what I would like to see, I can't say that it'll ever happen in my lifetime. There's just too much apathy. I also belong to the Civic Association, and we try to have regular meetings, but that's hard. When we do have a meeting, out of 4,000 people in this community, we get 5 or 6 people show up for a meeting. So, and it's the same story with any organization. How do you get people involved?
I would think that the city would be more interested in developing Fifth Avenue because of, you want to say, the gateway to 670, which is, the airport. I mean, we had a couple people come here a year ago and they Googled it on their phone and found this place because they didn't want to eat at the airport.
And the needs today, of course, the Schottenstein Corporation developed the Air Center, and DSW is down there, and there's some government offices. There are over 500 people employed by the companies in our park. So there's a lot of traffic. There are a lot of people work in this area. What we looked at as members of the business and civic associations here were, well, what about if we had restaurants where they could eat, on the way in or
Columbus
at lunch?
does eat.
Yeah, that's right. You got to eat lunch. Columbus does a great job of development planning, developing certain neighborhoods, and we have a plan. There's been a plan and a study over several years that Cassidy will be widened and roundabouts put in, and it goes on north, and in time we'll be a support area for Easton, Bexley.
Well, we hope those restaurants, especially with those Polish and Hungarian cabbage rolls,
that's
make their appearance very soon. And old industrial sites are so attractive to people, so don't overlook the possibility of a restaurant right here.
That's right.